Welcome to Dungeon Academics. My name is Thomas and I will be your instructor. I'm continuing my series of zero production value videos where I talk about ideas I've had, things I've read and things that have happened in the games that I've played. One day I would like to get back to slightly more produced videos with maybe a script or slides, but I'm actually really enjoying the fluid form of these videos. I'm also going to start numbering these videos, so it will make it easier for me to refer to them in later videos. So this will be the first of this series of videos, and this one is actually a response to a tweet by Mike Mearls. Mike Mearls said bonus actions are hot garbage. They don't do what they're supposed to do. And he points out that he should know because he invented them. He is one of the designers for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And Mike, you are absolutely right. You've made some great points. I'd like to expand upon these and reply to them in some form. And I'd love your feedback as well. So he elaborates what bonus actions were for originally was an idea as a way to allow characters to activate their class abilities. So the way Dungeons and Dragons was envisaged is that in your turn you get to move and you get to make an action, and that action could be cast a spell, it could be make a set of attacks, it could be hide or dash or something associated with your class. And the problem was that they didn't want multiclassing characters to use the special abilities from different classes in the same turn. So the idea was to have something called a bonus action. This bonus action doesn't take up your action, but it allows you to do something associated with your class. And because you only have one bonus action, you can only do one thing associated with your class per turn. Now, the example they gave would be you couldn't have a rogue do a sneak attack and a paladin do a smite in the same turn, because smiting is something that paladins do and sneak attack is something that rogues do. Now, ironically, neither of these actually use a bonus action in the 2014 version of Dungeons and Dragons. That's okay. The idea is clear that every class has this special ability, and you shouldn't be able to use the special abilities for multiple classes in the same turn. That's fine. I like that idea. And something that was mentioned was class actions as an alternative. Now, there's been a bit of talk on how these would be implemented, but I would like to give my ideas on what this would be. What is a class action? A class action is a thing that every character in that class has the option of doing. It would be something that you would get taking one level in that character, and that's something that would improve as you level up that character. So, for example, what is the big defining thing of Ranger? That would be something like hunting. So instead of using Hunter's Mark as a spell that uses a bonus action, Hunter's Mark would be a class action, and you would then get to make your attacks as normal. So it would be you do this and then get an attack action. Possibly Fighter, Action Surge could be their class action. So you get to do Action Surge and then you get to make the attack action. With a Sorcerer, you would have some sort of sorceress ability and cast a spell. With a Warlock, you have an Eldritch action, which would allow you to use an Eldritch invocation and then make attacks or cast a spell. So the idea is that each class has a class action that is strongly tied into the class fantasy. And because it's an action, you don't get to mix and match class actions from different classes, even if you're multi-classed. What this means is that every class needs to have a well-defined class action or actions, something that really captures the essence of what it is to be that class. What is it to be a fighter? What is the essence of being a fighter? And in combat, how would that be used in a special class action? Now, I've talked previously that I like abilities that level up with your character. What happens a lot in Dungeons and Dragons at the moment is you get an ability, it's fully on, you can use it anytime you want, it doesn't get more powerful, and that really encourages lots of small, low-level dips. So a couple of levels in Fighter to get Action Surge gets you an entire second action once per short rest. A couple of level dips in Warlock gets you all of the Warlock abilities, which are massively front-loaded, and a couple of Eldritch Invocations. You can become an expert Eldritch Sniper or quite a good quite a good Hexblade fighter with just 1 or 2 levels in Hexblade. And this doesn't seem right. I love multiclassing. I love combining the abilities and themes of different classes. But to get all the good stuff from a class just from a 1 or 2 level dip doesn't seem great. So the idea of having these class actions that use your action, so you can't combine them with class actions from other classes, and these class actions that get more powerful as you invest more levels into that class, that's something that I really like. And it allows you to focus in on what does it mean to be this class. Now, there are a few things I'd like to go above that about these class actions. I don't think they should be resource limited. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but there is nothing more tragic in the world than a barbarian who's run out of rages, who just can't find it in their heart to get angry anymore. A bard that's run out of inspiration is uninspiring, if you'll pardon the expression. So these class actions should be something that can be used every turn, or used once and then have an ongoing effect, and shouldn't necessarily be class limited. Having your special thing that you do not be available is not fun. I've talked about how I don't think Dungeons and Dragons is played as a game of resource attrition, even though that's how it's written sometimes. And I think that perhaps we should change the way the game is written to reflect the way people want to play it, and not the other way around. So that's it. I love this idea of class actions. Skip bonus action, absolutely get rid of it. All the things that bonus actions do can be rolled up into class actions, or just abilities that trigger on certain activities. Focus in on the core of what each class is and build up what that class action should be. Have it get more powerful as you invest more levels in that class. Have it resourceless so it can be used every turn if necessary in a way that promotes a fun and engaging game. Obviously make it balanced, but so it's not too front-loaded, it's not too overpowering, but you can have fun with it when it gets into the 4th tier of play, because that's what the game's all about. Anyway, if you want to talk about class actions, or you like the ideas that I've had, stick something in the comments. And Mr. Mike Mearls, I like the way your brain thinks. Let me know if you like the way mine works. And enjoy your next game, whatever it may be.